Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Philia. Last we saw our heroes, we caught Nefel's week in Astoria, where he and Thickbug brought a gnomish artificer named Phoebe down to the Mithril Forge to construct an all-terrain houseboat for them. After that, at the end of the week, the gang proceeded to the Dragon Shrine in Astoria to decide the fate of the Horn of Balmitria. It is revealed that the head priest of the shrine, Aesop, has decided Astoria is not safe enough to house the horn anymore. So, they ask the heroes to bring it to Vallis in Astoria. However, the gang convince Aesop that it would be safer in their charge. However, they warn that it not be left in the hands of King Acastus, as Aesop does not trust his intentions in bringing back the Dragon Lords. Before leaving, Persephone has a tender goodbye with his father and promises to find his mother Oprah. And then the gang begin the next stage of their journey by heading to Vulcan to collect the Dragon Lord's weapons found in the necropolis. Vulcan gives the gang the Axe of Xander, which empathizes its emotions to its wielder, and the Golden Shield of Vulcan, which can not only animate the lion's head on its face, but can also reanimate heads of the decapitated if left in its midst. The gang then set forth on a long journey to Mitros, and along the way come agreed 2 griffins, which were swiftly taken care of under the might of Gladius Asstra, with the assistance of a newly awakened humanoid Stella. While the gang fawn over new Stella, Kira investigates the corpses the griffins were feeding on, and finds a note summoning the heroes to Mitros to see Vallis immediately, which leaves Kira worried. As we join our heroes now, some time has passed since the battle. Stella has returned to her weasel form, and you're progressing quietly along an empty highway, thick black dark clouds gathering overhead. Kira's anxiety is palpable in the air, and in this silence, all 7 of you think back to each of the times you've all spent in Mitros. Can everybody roll me a flat d20?
Oh. I got 3.
12.
Just post them in the chat.
Yeah.
Ooh, in the D&D chat, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oopie doop.
Ooh, it's a nice 15 for Jerry Boy.
It's a 3 for
same.
Opa 2.
Hell yeah.
A 12 for Caliandra. An 11 for Juno. A 5 for Atalanta. Mystery number. Oh, there it is. Stephanie got 10.
When you say a flat 20, you mean just a 20?
That's
no
just
adding.
a d20. Just roll the d20.
Yeah, that's grand.
Yeah. So, you're all thinking. You're all reminiscing. And we're going to do something a little different this week. So, the camera, as it is, pans up, away from the wagon, and a far across the long highway. However, we are going to knock back in time to when some of you had spent some previous times in Mitros. So as we pan across, we eventually find our first view of Mitros. The wide, bustling cityscape. As we move back in time, the dark clouds that were gathering overhead are gone. The sun is absolutely shining. The ports are bustling hard and fast with ships coming and going constantly. Streams of merchants and travelers come in and out of both of the city gates. People are hawking their wares up in the agora. Prayers are being sung to both the Five and the Titans alike up in the temple districts. And drinking and reveling are happening in the dark corners of the Stygian Row in the valley below. And our first journey brings us to the Temple of the Five. As we swing round its beautiful gilded colonnades in through its wonderful marbled halls, we find ourselves deep in the sect of Vulcan. In one of the small underground forges where many of the Vulcan's acolytes craft their wares. And there we find Jury. Jury as we know him now. However, not set out in his regal armor, more in common acolyte robes. In fact, we find Jury talking with one of the half orcs who prays to Vulcan, Jormund, who is working on a specific commission for Jury. And he turns to Jury and says, "Yo, it's a damn shame that motherfucker left after you tried to rise to him. I would have popped him. And it's if he was still here, me and you, we would have went up there, socked it to him, you know?"
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you already heard the phrase, you can tell if someone has never had a good slap. He's just the same. He's fucking abysmal.
Yeah, you've seen his face. That boy ain't never seen the back of a hand in his life.
I don't know if you heard, but he saw quite the front of getting glassed by somebody. I don't know. And he sort of goes and like pushes some of his like little like fur back. He's like, could have been anyone. I don't know.
Hey, if the temple had any more glass in it, I think there would be some in his fucking face, you know?
Yeah,
Jury.
perhaps.
So what's your... I've seen you... You've been hiding yourself away recently. Are you plan on leaving the temple?
Why? Did you hear something?
Oh, no. Obviously with everything that's going on, you've been keeping your head low. For a fact, you've been doing your jobs. That's a new sight.
Hey, I do plenty of fucking work around here. You see in my rota, a lot of my work is just outside. Listen, I had a good rapport with a lot of the events people. And listen, between bards require a lot of upkeep in order to keep them happy enough to play. They like to feel special.
You don't gotta tell me nothing about bards and upkeep. The amount of loots I gotta tune on a daily basis.
Is what I'm saying. You need to keep them sated enough. It's a full-time job babysitting the talent. You know how it is.
I mean, the big one is what's going on.
Yes, you're one. I've heard of her. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I suppose the biggest reason I'm asking is what's going on. What's melting in this forge? What I'm dying bright pink for you. What's a guy like you gonna do with a full set of plate armor?
Oh. I think he goes and like unfurls like a big show. I was like, I can't believe you haven't seen my sketches. I was showing my premise, my inspiration board to everyone. Oh my, take a seat. So he like opens up like a big scroll, and it's like a big picture of like this weird like it's like it's like an ad for of like extremely fancy lingerie that's just like roses and flowers and fruits and vines, and it's like pink with all sorts of little like straps and belts, and apparently it's like he's armored, but he's just going to look like this, except less slutty. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I got the design. It's melting away. You ever try to build a mold for this thing? It took hours.
Yes, I have. I've molded plenty of things. No, it's just I can't exactly do my old job anymore, so might as well, I don't know, do something. I've bodyguarded a few of the more ravenous guests, but I don't know. There's not that much to do for me anymore, so might as well try and make a different living.
Try to use your newfound gifts for for good.
Oh yes, the strength that I gained for hauling ass all of your materials from here and there and everywhere. Oh yes, I might. Oh my god, I've never done such manual labor in my fucking life. Jeez.
Yeah, you ever consider switching sects? Those biceps now, I'm sure you could whack a hammer good.
I don't know.
Or would the heat absolutely kill your hair?
You're joking right now, but that's absolutely true. No, it's just I don't know. I'm a bit lost right now. I don't really know what I'm doing with my life. I can't really imagine leaving here, but I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't have a lot of many other skills.
Oh,
Oh, take your
Stop.
jaw off the floor, please. Anyway.
oh, stop! You got plenty. Oh, shit! That's boiling up. Okay. Well, here's the moment of truth, and he pulls out the long set of tongs, and from its lavaed bath, he pulls out the breastplate that we are all well too aware of now. Still in its raw iron shape. Obviously, it hasn't been dyed. It's only out of the mold. As he drops it down, he's like, "Okay, we're just gonna cool that down a bit."
Is it always this steamy? Fuck. Ugh.
Hey, it'll open up your pores. You guys like that?
I hate it here. Lucy, you're wonderful, but I fucking hate it here.
Okay, here. Let's make sure I got the size right. And he kind of holds it just up to your chest to kind of make sure, and it fits perfectly. Obviously, straps and all still have to be attached, and as I said, it still has to be dyed. I was like, yeah, that's the ticket, all right. Yeah, you sure look like you sure
Take a
look
hit,
like
no?
you could. I mean, without it, looks like you could take several, but with it, I think you could take a few more. You look
Not
like
that
you
I expect to be needing it.
you look like you'd be standing outside the palace in that.
Maybe not defending between you and me, but I didn't say that.
No, of course. Ixnay on the reason tray. I get you.
May I ask you one more thing before I go? I promise I will sneak out only the second cheapest wine down to you if you manage to do this for me also.
I could be coerced for second best. What's next
Or
on the
third
docket?
if you play your cards. Isa, I still don't really want to leave my room all that much if possible. Could you collect? I'll give you a small cut if you collect my stipend each week. And just leave it in my quarters with my things.
You know what, Jerry? You've been good to me. I'll do it for third best.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And he gives you a good, like, a firmer handshake than he would have before.
I don't like it, but I'm trying not to show it, but my face is really like...
And with that handshake, we are going to pull back out of that basement. And the camera now moves away from the resplendent and ornate temple district. Down the hill, down into the darker sect of the city, to the underworld, to the Stygian Row, where the not so noble of the city dwell. We find ourselves in, I'd call it quaint if it wasn't one of the busiest bars in this sector of the city. But it certainly is a dive. The Satyr's Tail. As we move through its slightly rattled doors, through the first stream of bustling crowds order drinks, into its central hall, where up on stage we find Calandra, head wrapped to hide what's underneath. But Bazooki fully in motion. Callie, would you... It's coming to the... I'd say we're coming to the end of your set now. Would you tend to end your set on a big epic, or would you kind of end it on a somber note?
Always a big epic.
Always a big epic. You've been doing this long enough now to realize that getting too into it will undo the head wrap. So you're trying not to go absolutely ham. But the crowd adore it. Can I get a quick performance check off of you?
Oh, absolutely.
For the sake of ease, we'll stick with all your current proficiencies.
Oh, jeez. $12.
It's good, the crowd are into, it's late enough in the evening and people are drunk enough that there are people who are into it, and you've got fans who are eating it up no matter what. You've had better nights.
Yeah.
And just as you finish off the last chords of your song, you rock your head up and look out to the crowd. Again, you've got the first row of fans who frankly, some of them follow you around Mitros. Follow you around Thylia, even, should I say, across as you're playing shows all around the continent.
As they should.
And then a few rabblers who have obviously walked in, just kind of noticing you for the first time. However, you spot in the back 2 very familiar faces. You see the faces of 2 wine merchants from Mitros, Trellis and Septia, whom you know from before. They definitely haven't noticed you yet, but you recognize them. What would you like to do?
Just gonna try and get out of here quietly.
The crowd are cheering. There are people clamoring for an encore, but you kind of try to play it off and slip off stage. Where you're immediately greeted by another familiar face, the events organizer of the Satyr's Tale, a satyr named a vibrantly red-haired satyr named Frickson. He was like, Caliandra, that was a wonderful set. You see that the crowd, they eat you up. Why don't you go out there and do another encore?
I mean, usually I'd always take that job, but the sleep calls to me.
Aye, but we are in Stygian Road, the city that never sleeps. Up top is where the comfy beds are, but down here it is where we dance.
And I do love dancing, but maybe the city doesn't sleep, but I do.
You are, as you are talking to him, your eyes are darting back and forth. You're anxious. You've seen them. I have just rolled perception checks for the 2 of them, and one of them did just roll a nat 20. You see Septia's eyes. Again, the 2 of them are obviously they're notable wine merchants of the area, so they're definitely trying to bargain for. They're definitely here to bargain for casks of wine, back and forth, usual business. But her eyes linger. They see a poster. The name rings a bell, and the eyes lock with yours.
Maybe I'll do that encore. No one disturbs me on stage.
Oh, Caliandra, we have to hire more bouncers when you play here. They try to ravage the stage when you are on. Go, the crowd want you. And I'm assuming you then just run right back up.
Yep.
You get right back up there. And by this point, you saw Septia try to go towards you. But by this point, the crowd seeing you get back on stage, people are in a flurry. You've given them just enough time that people were about to leave, but the fact that you've gone back up, people are in a flurry. And the side entrance, people had tried to bombard the stage. So you see her kind of get lost in the mix for now. So you whip into another song. But all the while trying to keep a watchful eye. Can I get a perception check off of you?
Absolutely. It'll be poor because it's Callie. That's a nat one.
That's a nat one. The crowd. It's dark in here. Like the stage in row is dark. It's pretty late in the evening, and it's absolutely crowded in here. We are coming to the busiest portion of the night. The crowd is bustling, and as you've lost her since you caught your eye. However, during the middle of your set, you're in it, but you're also watching, you're looking, and without you realizing, you're looking through the crowd. They're not there. You can't see them. Maybe they've gotten lost, maybe they can't get back up. And as you twist your head, somehow, probably the connections they know through the bar, Trellis and Septia are standing stage right.
Damn. I will exit stage left.
You finish your song, crowd goes wild, you make it off stage left. Frickson tries to give you more of his event promoter shtick. But just as you're trying to get past him, a hand on your shoulder. Now, where do you think you're going, you little snake?
You know, think that might be rude, but snakes are actually quite wholesome.
How did you get out?
I walked, skipped more like.
Oh, you think you're an entertainer, don't you?
I very much am, actually.
Well, wouldn't you like to know what your mother and father think of this?
I actually don't.
Game.
It's not a game. It is a quite affluent career that I'm managing here. Fuck off.
I'd like to say that you should say that to the Lady of Dreams, but we both know what happened when you do that.
Could have been worse.
No.
At least I'm alive.
For now. So, we shouldn't do this in front of your adoring fans. Why don't you come quietly to the temple? I think the Lady of Dreams has more to say to you.
Well, I have nothing to say to her, and also I don't do anything quietly. Maybe a failing, but it's worked out for me a little bit so far. So actually, I think I'll make a lot of noise.
Septia goes to grab your arm.
Do I have a knife to stab?
I think it's fair to say that it's the Stygian row. You'd have like a knife.
I would to try.
If you have a knife, roll an attack roll.
Let's see. We'll assume it's a dagger. Callie, how do you use a dagger? How good are you with a dagger? Oh, that's not so bad.
Dagger's dex. You can use your dex on a dagger.
Exactly. Okay, Callie. Let's try this, Callie. Oh, laptop. That's an 8.
That is an 8. I don't know why I didn't. I expected this not to happen, but
Callie always stab.
With an 8, she. This is one of the. This is somebody of influence in the cult of Lutheria. This is a woman that is well used to trying to be. That is well used to attempted stabbings. So no, she manages to kind of get like her wrist around her hand around your wrist as you try to stab her and just kind of block it. It's like, oh, that's cute. However, you see some by this point you're kind of dead. Like this isn't a fancy venue. Stage left brings you down to the floor. This isn't a backstage sort of situation. So you see, but a member of the crowd has noticed Septia grab your hand. Like, hey, what are you doing to Calandra? Get off her! And then suddenly the crowd are in an absolute frenzy. And Septia, noticing this, sees that the crowd is about to turn on her. It's like, let's go. Realizing that this could turn very bad. And she doesn't want to riot.
I do want to riot. Callie is just gonna look at the crowd and yell for help.
She looks at you and is congratulations on your performance. I'm sure we'll meet again. And she's like, come! As she gets her husband Trellis to follow as they try to kind of duck out through one of the back doors. And as your crowd, your crowd of supporters come rushing forward to you, you get swept up and it's like, what was she trying to do? Is that okay? Or that was kind of whack what she was trying to do, yeah. And you get just swept up then in your fans.
I embrace the fans. Just follow this wave.
You end up getting crowd surfed because it's just that kind of vibe right now.
I pulled my scarf real tight.
Oh, it's wrapped. You're used to this. They're respectful. They're lifting you. They're not grabbing nothing.
I respect
but
crowd.
you do hear inside the worms get a little bit excited about everything, but it's drowned out by the actual crowd. Awesome. And as you crowd surf your way through the Sadier's tail, we pan out. Up out of the Stygian row. As we're going to move now back into the temple for another round. This time, however, not to the humid, dark depths of the sect of Vulcan, but to the stuffy libraries of the sect of Valus. Juno, you are much like Jury was in your robes. You've been studying at the temple for quite a while. Discussing the wisdoms and teachings of Valus, and with several of the priests, and this day then the high priest of the sect herself, Maya, the high priestess Maya, is tending to some lectures, and at the end of it, you two have been talking just kind of debating some of the grander philosophies of the academy and like did kind of a pretty kind of everyday speak of the temple. When as the two of you are walking through the library, you hear a door swing open further down the hall, and a face familiar to us now, but then rarely seen by any of you, the stern, plated form of Commander Gaius of the Order of Sidon marches through the library and stands at a halt in front of Maya as you are standing next to her. And it's like, Priestess, I'm here to ask about your recent endeavor about the orphanage outside of the city limits. And Maya's turns is like, yes, the Queen herself regarded that property and gifted it to us to open an orphanage. We've recently had a major intake of orphans from the Stygian Row, and well, we've been looking to house them. What matter is it to yours? And Gaius looks her up and down and says, like, that land has already been seized by the Order of Sidon, and all work there is now going to halt. And she's like, what? No, you can't. What do you mean seized? That land was given to us by the Crown. She's like, not anymore. It's not. Cease all development there immediately. And as you see her kind of go to argue more, he simply puts his hand up to her. He's like, no, this is not a matter for discussion. As he walks, and he immediately whips around and walks right back out. Juno, you are left to Maya. You are left looking next to Maya. She looks dejected.
Did I just hear that right? The orphans, they're not going to be helped anymore? We have to do something about this.
You see her jaw is actually kind of like completely wide open. She's like, what can we do? That land was our only option. It was gifted to us. We're a temple. We don't have money to purchase property of that scale. There's nothing we can do.
Which surely we can. Do you think maybe if we talk to? Did you say it was the Royals? The Royals.
Valis. Yeah. So according to Maya, Valis was the one that gifted this land to the sect, to her sect, and we could try, but recently with the Oath of Peace coming to an end, Sidon's influence has been, the Order's influence has been growing and growing. Some of the other head priests have tried to overturn the decisions, and it's never panned out. We can try, but I don't even know if the Queen herself can overturn this.
How can the Queen of all people not be able to have any influence in this decision?
Oh, Juno, I wish I had an answer for you. I wish things made sense.
It's ridiculous. What we have to talk to the we have to talk to what's his name again?
The king?
No, like the
general.
the guy who was just talking to my
Oh, Gaius.
guys. Yeah, we
No,
have to talk to him, and you
no,
know,
this. I don't know if you just saw. There's no talking to Gaius. He doesn't reason with anybody. He's stubborn as a sword.
well, what
He
if
doesn't
we-
he doesn't see arguments. He demands, he commands, and that is it.
Maybe, hear me out. What if we sneak into his bedroom when he's fast asleep, and just
Do you know?
scare-
Do you know? We are going to stop that thought right there.
You don't even know what I was gonna say.
I can tell. It comes with the territory of being the high priestess of the sect of wisdom that I can tell that anything that sentence going forward was not good, and also something that probably shouldn't be said to a higher official.
At least, can we at least put a pin in it? I'll take your silence as a yes.
I'll see
Do
what
you
I
have
can.
any? Yeah. Do you have any better plans? Is it
To be frank
completely
with
out
you-
of the question that we can't even talk to guys?
To be frank with you, Juno, no. No, I do
Well,
not have any
heck,
better plans.
Surely any plan is a good plan. Okay.
No.
How about,
Okay,
how about
Juno,
this? We just talk to him first and get some information out of him, or maybe I can go by myself and then.
No, Juno, Juno, I've always appreciated your hope and your positivity.
Well, I think
The Gaius would never talk to a simple acolyte. Frankly, he regards most of the church as worthless, and he only really talks to the high priestesses because he needs must. If you were to go
Well-
walking up to the Temple of Sidon, they'd never let you entry.
Well, who said I would walk to Sidon? Also, I'm going to talk to him because I'm not just an acolyte. I am a satyr who cares for the needs of those less fortunate. That is the moral of Valis.
She smiles and she's like, Juno, that is what we appreciate most about you here. We truly do. And I wish they were more like you. Don't you have studies to attend to. Don't let this worry you. This is far above your chain, if it were. I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to the queen the next time she visits the temple. Maybe we could be able to get this
Study,
situation
alright.
sorted, but
I'm going to study, all right. Rest assured, I will, in fact, study.
don't worry your little head about it, Juno, please.
Don't you worry about me worrying. I will not be worrying. I'll be studying. As you so wisely recommended I do.
Hey, Juno, give me a quick deception check.
Oh, lovely. Weird perception. That is a 5 plus 4 is 9.
It's a good thing you said +4. Because this bitch rolled a 2.
Oh shit.
She looks and she just can't see past. She just can't see past. She can't read between the lines here. Thank you. Yes, Yeah, studying's probably for the best. You can see, like, she's all. You can tell she's also just distracted about what had just happened. She's like, yes, yes, probably best that you, probably best if you head back to your study. I've got I have urgent business to attend to now. Thank you for your time. I'll see you next lesson.
I'll see you soon. I'll be in my study.
And she kind of sweeps her robes around and leaves. And the camera follows her out the door as we leave the temple.
Bye-bye. I'll be studying.
And we are actually, as we ping-ponged once from the temple back to the Stygian row, back up the temple, we once again bring ourselves back down to the row. Where we see a bustling marketplace. Not quite the high finery of the agora above, but the rows cobbled together, rickety vendors, some of which actually on rickshaws for quick movement. And we see a familiar friend clip-clopping his way through the streets. Persephone, what would a typical day in the row be like for you?
Typical day. Talk with a few contacts, get a few tips. Where are the juicy pickings?
You've picked a couple of stray apples this morning so far. And as you make your way down the row, clopping confidently along, you see the face of your Mitros contact. We met your Storian contact, but obviously he's very specific to a story. You meet your Mitros contact. Your ear to the ground here. The very same red-haired satyr from Cali's scene, Frixen. Standing just beside a stall, munching away on an apple. On an actual apple, not a metaphorical apple for that meant gold. Salut, mon ami! Buce.
What are you doing? Don't look at me. Look away. Have you never seen them do this in the plays? Come on.
What do you think I go to see plays? No, I am a man of music. And besides, how could I not look at you? Have you seen the size of your rump?
Yes, it is very big. That is why I hide it in the shadows.
No, besides, it's fine. It's nobody's actually listening to anything anybody has to say.
Jesus, it's like I'm working with an amateur.
No, you are working with a double professional.
Okay, well, this double
see, I am
professional can find me double pay for good pickings, eh?
Oh, a man of words. I see. Hey, have you ever considered being a playwright?
I've dabbled.
I will have to read it sometime. Actually, I wanted to talk to you recently. You've I like you. I do. Mon cher.
Look, everybody likes me.
Oh, don't they not? I've seen the way the people woo. But I think if I were you, I'd be wary of the of your independent work schedule. Word travels fast in the row, and from what I understand, you've been drawing the eye of the Lady of Coin.
I know this is a pretty fine ramp, but this ramp is solo.
I know, and that's listen. You explained that to me the first we met. I understand that, but I want you to be careful. As I said, I like you. I like you a lot. However, have you seen the statues that show up overnight with the green snake tattooed on them?
I may have spotted a few about the place. Their handiwork.
The lady has become more active of late. And I've heard of other independent artists such as yourself wind up as set dressing for the streets. What I want to say is I want you to be careful. If there is to be a snake tattoo on that ramp of yours, I want you to still be moving with it.
Me, I would never get a tattoo. That's crazy. Foolish. She would
Well,
have to
I mean-
find me first.
Well, I mean, some can be quite tasteful, eh? Have you seen this, fine lady I've got on my forearm? And he's got like a pin-up girl. Like, he has shaved a portion of the fur on his arm simply to get a pin-up girl. Of like a
It's
tiefling
truly
girl.
grotesque.
Some people say it is grotesque, others say it is a work of marvel. But anyway, here. As I say, be careful of yourself. Keep an eye, and do maybe put those slippers on to be extra sneaky. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oui.
Mon cher. Okay, now let us let us go to one of the alcoves in the tail. I have got the connection for you.
Perfect.
As Frickson then takes you by the arm, you move back into the tail, middle of the day where it's quieter, and delivers you a hot hookup for that day, for thieving.
Ooh,
I can be blunt because we're talking expositionally.
It's more of a liberation as Persephone sees it.
Persephone lives a life of liberations and libations.
He liberates people from their materialistic lifestyle.
My Persephone, my socialist icon. So our camera moves then back out of the row. Once again, back up to the palace district. However, this time we are not going to actually move back to the palace or back to the temple. We are going to follow the path that leads up to the palace. Atalanta, you are fresh off the boat, off of the ferry from Themis. Mitros is an entirely different world to the respectful air of the Amazonians in Themis. For a start, you've never seen so many men walking around freely in your life. But, well, sometimes it just comes with the territory. And as you have elbowed your way, keeping your head down through the ever-busy docklands, you've made your way up to the palace district. Your rough-spun armor and cloak and traveling cloak is certainly drawing the eyes of the nobles parading around in fine silks and cashmeres. And you are in Mitros for one reason and one alone. You are heading to the palace.
Yep.
You make your way up to the gates. The first set of gates, even, should I say. And in front, the gates fully locked off. 2 guards stand, shields heft as you approach.
Before she approaches, Atalanta, takes off her cloak, waves out her hair, pulls down the top of her armor, her outfit just a little bit to show a little bit of cleavage. Just get that going. And with swaggers up to the first guard.
You see they kind of note you. What is your business at the palace?
Looking coyly at this guard through her big dark lashes, Atalanta pops a hip and says, I am a gift for your king. I believe he is expecting me.
Roll me a deception check.
That is a 14.
14. You can see, like, these are very professional. Like, these are, the palace guards of Mitros. They, outside of just kind of glancing kind of up and down to kind of get a full build of your body and your character, they've been kind of stone faced the entire time. It's like, we've been given no message the king is expecting any visitors today, and the palace is off limits to the public outside of the registered hours.
That's too bad. I could really use some refreshment. She fans herself a little bit with her hand.
If you are looking for refreshments, my lady, there are plenty of taverns on the farther hill of the Agora.
But why would I go there when there's this tall drink of water standing in front of me?
Stone-faced. My lady, I would recommend that you move along post-haste.
Hey, I just have one tiny favor to ask. And she pushes herself up against him.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer not to get this dagger dirty, if you don't mind. And she's got the tip of a dagger at his abdomen. Would you mind telling me when the king will be available?
Okay. We're switching gears. Give me an intimidation check.
That is an 8 because the gods hate me today.
He looks down, sees the dagger, and immediately is like, "Intruder! We have an intruder!" And they both just lunge to their spears. The one in front tries to kind of grab the knife out of your hand. We're going to roll initiative.
Oh my god.
That's a 4. These rolls are going well. I'm not worried at all. You're worried.
Atalanta gets arrested in the past and never meets us.
Yeah, he gets killed. Whoopsies.
Oh god.
Sorry, trying to find the stat block right now.
You weren't expecting to have to deal with this.
I just,
There's always the
this
girls
That feels like it's on you.
no, this is absolutely on me. I should have had this ready.
To be honest, I'm half expecting her to kill the king in the backstory.
Sorry that the girls be real stabby today, Kev.
Again, that's absolutely on me. I should have anticipated. I know you guys. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So you got a 4 total?
I think so.
It's roll plus your dex.
I don't know if I actually rolled. Louise, do you remember if I rolled?
No.
I took a dice out. I don't think I actually rolled for it.
You absolute motherfucker. What's your okay? What is your?
No, it was a 4. It was a 5. It was a 5.
It was a 5. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your dexterity modifier?
My dexterity modifier is +2.
+2. Okay, then you are incredibly lucky because they also rolled a 5 and a 4. But with your dex mod, you actually get to act first.
Goki, what did I have at this point in time? Good question.
I'd say at this point you probably only really had a dagger and your chakra.
Okay.
I don't think you were armed, but not packing the heat you are now.
Okay. So Atalanta is going to backflip away. So she's gonna backflip out of the engagement and run the fuck away.
Disengage then?
Yes, but by backflipping.
But
Team for
Grace will disengage.
Okay. So you disengage. These guys are going to chase. So we're actually now that we're not actually we're not going to actually run combat right now. I want you to roll an athletics check for me to see if you can outrun these guys.
That's a 14. Yeah, 14.
Absolutely just trash rolls. How are these guys soldiers?
Well, I'm getting trash.
All their
on my
stats
so
went
I
into
don't know.
resisting charm.
They're fighting their erections.
Yeah.
That is a 6 and a 7. You book it. You absolutely you backflip out and absolutely just leg it down. Like these are pretty wide open spaces, but you've got enough like sheer fitness and adrenaline to just cheese it out and like find the first corner you can. And these guys, like, these are not like cavalry soldiers. These guys are decked out in armor that is as much ornamental as it is useful. So like they don't have a lot of like range of movement for running. And even the fact that like you can still hear them running after you've lost sight of them. Their armor is just clinking and chunking. Can I get you to roll me a stealth check?
You can. I can't promise it'll be good. Yep, I was correct. That is a 6.
Okay, no, I'm sending a picture because this is actual insanity.
I hope that's 2 nat 1s you're showing me.
That is 1 and a 2.
Oh,
Wow.
I also got a 2, but I'm really stealthy.
Incredible.
Oh, this is an absolute shit show.
These guys need to be fired.
No, I think they should be kept on.
I will recommend them.
10 out of 10. Would see again.
You duck out. You like kind of duck in behind one of the few kind of trees in around this in this area. Like, again, it's fairly wide open spaces, but you find like the one thing to actually hide behind, and these two guys just do not think of it. They just kind of keep running. It's like, no, she's got to be this way. We've got to find her.
Can she just she climbs up the tree and is hiding in the leaves?
Yes, absolutely. They're like, no, we've got to find it. She was trying to get the king. She almost had a knife to me. This is let's go. And they kind of chink, 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 chink. They just march and stomp off as you're sitting on top of this tree.
As she looks around the tree, she notices it's an apple tree. And so she just picks an apple off and just continues to eat it, watching these two buffoons who can't find her.
As you watch this, Chuckle Brothers sketch happening underneath you, something else catches your eye. Back at the gate, you hear a horn go off further in past the gate, and you see the two guards look just like, fuck, oh god, let's get back to the gate, get back to the gate. They run on back and just make it back in time for a 4-horse drawn, shining gold gilded carriage to arrive. As these two guards open the gates, this carriage starts down the road past your tree.
Can I do a perception check to see if I know who's in this carriage, or if I can see who's in this carriage?
Give me a perception check. Yeah.
Now the good rolls roll. That was 21, 23. That's 24.
24.
Sorry, 25. I just realized I haven't been adding an extra one to all my rolls for my proficiencies. Oops.
25. The carriage is... The blinds in the carriage are all drawn. So you don't get a good look in. However, what you do see is just as the carriage is moving past, it's on the road now, it's moving a little swifter. You see that the curtains peek open a short bit, and all you catch a glimpse of in a dark candle out of the dark candle out of the carriage is just a streak of black hair. However, with that perception check, you can definitely I'll kind of wrap an insight check into it, insofar as you can definitely tell that this carriage is it is absolutely resplendent enough to be royalty.
Atalanta sits in her tree and waits for it to be a little bit off, and then she gracefully drops from the tree and, like a panther, begins to stalk her prey.
You follow the carriage along, kind of ducking out of sight of any guards that are walking past. You don't know if word has gotten out there of an Amazonian intruder. As you follow this carriage moving at speed, it moves out of the laneways of the palace itself, of the greater palace district, and eventually moves back towards the temple. As it pulls up outside of the temple, the 4 horses come to a stop as the driver quickly dismounts, pulls the staircase drawn from the back, and opens the door. And you get a good look finally that walking out of the carriage is, you know her from statues. You see Queen Valis of the Five step out of the carriage.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Atalanta just melts back into the shadows and slips away.
back into the darker corners of the palace district as we move the camera out and away again. Okay, quick question just because I don't have it immediately on me. Ko and Louise, which one of you two have the higher wisdom?
Oh.
That would definitely be Nefel.
Oh yeah, I have a +5 to wisdom.
Damn!
That's no.
I'm
that's
incredibly
right.
wise.
So that was my deciding factor for any double ups. So we are going to move then from the palace district. Instead of ping-ponging back down to the Stygian Road, we are actually going to move out to the ever-busy, ever-loud, ever-bustling Docklands. We move over the busy fish market, over the piers with all of its riggings and knottings and boats clanking against each other, as traffic is always very, very heavy in this trade hub. We move slightly just further out to the bay to a ship gliding its way into port. After a healthy trade route, a ship, a large galleon ship, well renowned for its trade and stock capacity. This is, of course, the Seathorn. And as we move across its lavish deck, its busy, its ever busy and proficient crew just winding the sails up to slow speed as they enter harbor. A young water nymph shouting directions, making sure everything is going completely as planned. Looking and overlooking the entire situation is a beautiful naiad nymph. However, we're going to move slightly further down into the crew's quarters, where Nefel, you are off shift at the moment. But as you're coming into port, you'll be helping offload the stock. But you've just woken up from one of your terrible dreams.
Classic. Yeah.
And yeah, so you are coming up. You haven't mentioned anything to Elpis about these dreams yet.
Okay.
But what would you like to do now?
Well, I will get up when Helmsman Phobos tells you, like always. And I'll do what I'm told, like always.
And like clockwork, again, like the Seathorn is the reason the Seathorn has become so well known is because its crew work on a dime, and the moment you wake up and actually get yourself like fully woken up, like a timer, bang, knock, knock, knock. Well, now, Nefel, I think you're on shift. I hope you're pleasant. Or you're decent.
Well, I'm always pleasant.
No.
Oh, isn't that right? And he opens up, and Louise, if I might ask, may I share your wonderful pictures with the group?
Yeah, of course. Unless they're the inappropriate ones. In which case, no.
No, in which case, definitely.
Yeah.
So in walks Helmsman Phobos.
Yeah.
Into your quarters.
Ooh.
That's a daddy.
He has webbed hands and feet.
Yes, like most of the crew of the Seathorn, he is of course shirtless because he has been manning rigging pretty much non-stop since he got on shift. As he kind of leans in the doorway and just kind of looks you up and down. It's like, are you sure you got enough rest? There's a little more shadow under the eyes than I'm used to seeing.
Well, first of all, incredibly rude, but I forgive you. I suppose I have been having trouble sleeping recently. And not just because I forget to, like before.
No, I remember we had the we had the sleep sessions together. I recall. It was a tender moment.
Oh. I've been having some bad dreams, actually. Some pretty recurring, similar dreams.
Oh, do you want to go talk to the captain about this?
I wouldn't want to bother her if she's busy.
Nefel, you know that bringing her, it's hard for her not to worry about any of us. It's part of her job.
That's why I don't want to worry her. I'm sure it's just bad dreams that are the same every night and are very foreboding, and I'm sure they're fine. Okay, I'll go tell her.
Okay, well, come on. And he kind of goes over and puts his arm around yours, like, we'll go tell her. Besides, I'm not only here to put you on shift. She wanted to speak with you herself.
Oh, excellent. And I will give him a kiss on the cheek.
He gives you one back. And you walk hand in hand then up to the upper deck of the ship. Just in front of the wheel, where we find the ever stern, ever commanding, and ever beautiful Captain Elpis Seathorn. And she sees you.
Oh wow!
And
Okay, this is a throuple I'm into.
And she sees you and. She sees you and Phobos approaching. She puts her arms out wide to both of you and is like, Nefel, Phobos, a pleasure as always. Come here. And she brings you over and just kisses you smack bang on the lips.
Yeah.
And then moves over and kisses.
Yeah.
It's like, I take it Phobos has told you that I wanted to have a word?
Yeah, he mentioned something like that.
Well, I'm glad to see that the old noggin isn't dropping too many facts right now.
Well,
Nefel, we've been doing this for a long time. And you know I love you. Nefel, it's been nigh on a century we've been doing this.
oh,
You've become one of my most trusted confidants. And, well, I don't know how to... I'm never good at giving, you know? I spend most of my time bartering and commanding that I just don't get much time to just give, and I never know how to do it very well. I think it's time that I've rewarded you for all of your hard work. And she gestures her hand out as the ship slowly pulls up to its port. She gestures her hand out to a ship much like at a distance that looks much like any other ship. A smaller sloop vessel. However, unlike most of the other ships, it's currently completely unmanned. And she gestures her hand towards it. Nefel, I don't want this to come off as that I want to see you go, but I think you're ready to take command yourself.
Nefel is kind of looking at the boat and back at Captain Elpis, and then at the boat, and at Helmsman Phobos, and then at the boat, and doing that over and over again for a bit.
Phobos kind of looks at you and is like, well, I mean, if you don't want it,
No,
I'd be glad to take it.
no, no. Is that my boat? Is that for me?
Elvis looks at you and is, yes, Nefel, I think it's time that you command your own crew. I present to you the Skythorn.
Nefel faints.
Oh my god! You see,
once he's back.
Yeah, Phobos has like caught you immediately. It's like you kind of went faint, and like the crew has minor like clerics, who's like studied under the stars and the astrals. Like immediately, like somebody does like a healing word to you, and you kind of come back to.
When he comes back, he would like to pick up and twirl around the captain and just do a bunch of kisses on the face and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, I will get you. I was going to say the keys, but boats don't have keys. Before you take command, you have. Obviously, we've just arrived back. You have to unload, and besides, you have to pick a crew. But we can decide that. At the dinner later on. But now I think it's time for much rejoicing. So, rejoicing, work and then rejoicing, I think.
Same thing. I love it here.
And we love you here.
I love you guys. And another round of hugging.
You see Phobos kind of looks at you and then looks at the captain, like kind of like with the look of like, so you're gonna say something or?
Nefel has forgotten that he was going to say anything to the captain and is now just overjoyed about the boat.
And you see kind of Phobos just kind of roll his eyes. I'm sure he'll tell her later. Okay, kid, let's put those arms to good use. We've got plenty of grain to unload. Come on.
Yeah, and Nefel bounces off to do a very good job, like always.
Like always, as you and Phobos head below deck to start unloading the Seathorn. We're going to take our final trip around Mitros and move not too far from here, but not to a point in Mitros itself. Instead, we're going to move to the skies. Opa, you have recently gotten word of a shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
Through some possibly legitimate contacts in the academy.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, as far as anthropology is concerned, it's definitely all above board. And you've heard that there's something, and if the ship's manifest is to be believed, something in here that might strike the interest of not only yourself, but other researchers. And you are currently flying just out a couple of miles past the Mitros Bay. Obviously, you didn't do this without telling anyone. You let Rito know, and you did promise to bring Feather and Talon back something from the trip. Because they always like to hear of their great Aunt Opa's adventures. but you've got full goggles on, full flight mode. You're well prepared for a long flight journey, and eventually you come across a craggy set of rocks out in the Bay of Mitros. This far out, the weather's turning a little bit. The Cerulean Gulf is known for being very tumultuous and very difficult to navigate by sea, unless you are very well-weathered sailors. So you're kind of just on the precipice of that. So there's a slight rain and a bit of wind, and you can tell that this ship obviously ran aground of a terrible storm. You've found yourself a large galleon, definitely old, ship. Its sails ragged in the wind. As you kind of circle above it, just getting the lay of the land. How would you like to proceed?
Well, I will sort of bring myself down to the waves softly, and then dive beneath after taking a long, long breath.
You take yourself down again, adjusting for the wind currents that are picking up slowly but surely. The waves are crashing against these rocks. Not terribly, but the waves are rough and will be difficult sailing at the best of days. So you manage to find a nice ridge where the water isn't quite curling up yet, and you take the moment and bam, like a spear, whoosh, under the water. Under there, you see the bottom of the ship. As I mentioned, it mostly crashed up on this rock crag, and you can see the parts of the ship that got impaled upon its surface. But there is still plenty of the ship that is left under the water, looking mostly intact.
Time to get to work. I think at this stage, roughly how long ago would you say this is, Kev?
A couple of years, definitely. I wouldn't say too terribly long ago. Like knowing how old Opa is, I wouldn't say it's not like decades and centuries. Like I'd say it's at best about a decade ago.
Right. Well, while she's under here, she's going to cast light, like a pebble or a rock or something that she can use so she can see a little bit clearer under here. Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm assuming that you probably have just something in your pack to even use this for. You've done this several times. I'd say it's pretty happy enough that you're prepared for this. So you cast light on a small orb that you have in your pocket and start surveying. And as you get closer, you notice that the wood, as I said, it definitely while the bottom of the ship, the parts that haven't been impaled are definitely still intact. You could definitely tell that rot has set in. This it hasn't been the ship hasn't been varnished in years. You could see. So while it's still technically intact, it's not well maintained.
I'm going to see if there are any portals that I could use on the actual boat to get into its proper content, into its proper hull, where I start tearing it apart.
You notice there's a few things where definitely rocks and other debris have definitely crashed against it and left little bullet holes across the bottom of it. Only one's kind of small enough to fit your hand into. Definitely the best place to enter would be closer to the actual wreck. There's definitely gaps up around that would be large enough, large enough for even someone of your smaller stature, definitely to squeeze into.
suppose I'll try to get to one of them then.
Yep. So you squeeze on in, and immediately, like at this, like coming in at the bottom now, this like all of this is completely flooded. There's nothing, and like any, like you can see that you're definitely in like the kind of the cargo hold. But any cargo that was in here has either completely decayed away to nothingness or washed out the hole that you came in, or one of the other several other entryways that have been made in this ship. But you can tell, like, it looks like from anything that's left and any kind of broken crates, you can definitely see that, like, most of what was here was pretty common, being shipped. You, I think, that would know, though, from the manifest that the real treasure here wasn't what was being shipped as cargo, but what was being transported with a visitor.
I'll try to find my way to whatever quarters these folks would have had.
So, now, as I said, it's a large ship, but you've been around enough boats to kind of know to navigate at least your way out of a cargo hold. And as you kind of climb your way out of that, you obviously come then first into the crew's quarters, where you see where the crew's quarters is where the water line seems to be. So you kind of pop up out of the water and just kind of start wading through about knee-high length for the most part, through crew quarters with hammocks that are completely waterlogged and yellowed. Any degree of belongings from the crew long since washed away then under to the cargo and out to sea. But obviously visitors wouldn't have been put in the crew quarters, particularly a visitor that seems like they had paid quite a bit of money to be on this ship. So you make your way around. There's other sectors of the ship. There's obviously the gunnel. There's obviously various other kind of there's other holds. There was a rookery that obviously got blown right open on impact, and all since rooks have long since flown the coop. But as you make your way then onto the deck, it doesn't look like there was any sort of visitors' quarters under deck. So you make your way up, and the only place that makes sense now is that this person paid a lot of money and convinced the captain to stay out of his quarters.
I suppose in that case, I'll move towards the aft castle.
You make your way. So you've made your way now to the top of the ship. You're on its. There's a word and it's gone. The top of the ship, where you do all the work, where the sails are. What's the name?
The mast?
The floor.
The deck?
The dock?
The deck! Absolutely lost the brain cell there for a sec. Yeah, you find your way onto the deck. So you find your way then up from all of the undercarriage to the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And there on the aft castle, just underneath the wheel, is it's very decayed by the salt water, but it's been above the waterline that's not absolutely wrecked. You see what would have been a very lavishly decorated captain's door. The red paint that would have been absolutely vibrant in its heyday is simply just chipped, scarred, and weathered from years of battered rain and salt water.
Sure, in your prime, you were quite a looker. Afraid, going to need what's inside of you. And she's going to try to break it down.
Give me a give me just a strength check.
That's a 9.
Okay, it's like I was like, it wasn't gonna be hard, but it was more just to the degree of which. But like, you kind of shoulder check it, and like the hinges. It's actually it's a testament to how well crafted this ship was, that the hinges actually aren't what gives way. It's the wood that was connected to them. So you take the hinges off the actual frame of the door, as the rotten wood just shucks off right under it, as the door bang collapses, and you're suddenly hit with this just musk air, this damp musked air of a room that has not been opened in years.
Oh, jackpot.
And as you walk in, it seems to be a pretty standard kind of captain's quarters. You see, first thing that you see is the table with the map. The map's fairly, again, well weathered. There's an open window. Along the entire back wall are windows that have completely just been shattered through time and birds coming and going. So the map, it's still definitely recognizable as a map of the Cerulean Gulf. Any sort of like, if you tried, you could tell that if you tried to move it, it would absolutely come away. What's more interesting, though, is that you notice a map, or what seems to be the attempts at a map to the Forgotten Sea, an area not very well tread by many sailors. The Cerulean Gulf on its own is very dangerous. The Forgotten Sea is nigh on a death sentence for sailors.
Not a sailor.
But of course, there is many other things. There's obviously a full dining setup that, if there was anything dressed on it, it is long since gone. And obviously, a door further into living and private quarters. But the jewel of this, you find, is a skeleton sitting at the end of the table, sitting at the end of the desk, at the end of the map. A skeleton that has completely rotted away with time any semblance of meat and muscle. A skeleton that's a set of bones simply staying up by sheer perseverance, but yellowed by the sea air coming and going from the room. But sitting with arm bones strewn around it on the table from falling there, you see a large, heavy-looking locked chest.
I have been so looking forward to this. And, how heavy is this thing?
The chest is pretty heavy. Like, it's only like a small kind of like 60 by 60 kind of, like 80 by 60 kind of square, like large for like a chest you would carry in your hands, and definitely heavy, but more heavy in its frame. It seems like it's been tailor-made to keep whatever is inside preserved.
Going to attempt
You take a look at the lock. The lock is it's a built-in iron lock. But the outside of this chest again, while it's a heavy metal outside, its plating is entirely rusted and scaling back, and its locking mechanism looks to be completely corroded away from the sea air.
Wonderful.
So it's still locked and closed, but the actual lock is completely rusted.
Right? Going to try through sheer force to open it.
Hit me with a strength check.
Will. It's an 11.
Then you're lucky that I call this a DC 10. Like as I said, it is heavy and it's definitely meant to like kind of keep whatever is inside preserved, but years of wear and tear and sea air have absolutely ruined the locking mechanism to keep anything from getting in as you pry just the tips of your kind of clawed nails just in underneath the seal to get a bit of leverage, and crack! And as you open the chest, you see a small, what looks like kind of a small golden globe at first. And as you open it, there is a break in the clouds, and just a small glimmer of sunlight comes in through the window, and a sharp breeze hits your face, giving you that fresh sea air and a slight relent from the spray of rain. And as the sun hits the entry to this box, the little globe parts of it start revolving and moving. Things start spinning, parts start coming away, and all of a sudden, you see a small... It's a bird. A small, golden gilded, clockwork piece bird. It puts its little eyes, it catches its small opalescent eyes to yours and opens its little beak, and you hear a kind of a click as if to chirp. You can see, like, you've got an eagle eye for these kinds of things, and you see a little kind of like a little cog hitting against what looks like almost like a tonsil in the back as a kind of cring.
It's beautiful. And here's it's time.
It kind of starts to flap its little wings as it kind of chirps a little more, and suddenly just shoots out of the box at a little kind of jump and lands on the table. As it takes a look at its surroundings. This
is probably quite a lot to take in, but quite what I had been seeking, actually. Manifest was a little incomplete on the details, but say, do you want to come with me?
Kind of looks at you and kind of steps forward a little bit and just chirps.
A lot more than your box inside of a box. Show you a little bit of it. Best not to keep wings tied down. puts out a hand to it.
And it just kind of hops, just a little kind of flap hop into your hand.
Hope is just gonna like quick look around the room, making sure that she's not missing anything. Scott.
Yeah, like everything else is destroyed. Frankly, like there's everything else is completely just rotten away with decay and seawater.
Little Marvel. Let's get you somewhere warmer, shall we? Going to open up a little pouch. It has on the side. Leave the top of it open so the bird can see out, but like place it in there so go to safe.
Well, you notice actually as you kind of put your hands just over the top of it, just kind of brushing the top of its head, it starts to kind of form back into its ball form.
Okay. Does it again?
And it starts spinning again, and its wings, and it looks up at you.
I have so many questions for you. They can wait until we're somewhere a little bit warmer. And she makes it eggify again. Then pockets it.
And then pockets it. So as you move back onto the deck, stretch out your wingspan, and take off into the sky back towards the Academy at Mitros. That, as you take off then back to the Academy at Mitros, we keep the light patterings of rain as our camera moves back around to the mainland Thylia, to the highway, to the still very empty and still strangely quiet highway to Mitros. Rain begins pattering to the top of the canvas inside, breaking the silence as you all think back to these various memories of this large metropolis that all of you are coming back to from various points in your lives. You've all been thinking about these memories. But then all of you kind of get hit with the same time of the memories that you've had since then. All of you remember getting your letters from Kira, fighting the bull, or fighting the boar, should I say, seeing Astoria for the first time, going to the Mithril Mines, going to the Necropolis, going to the Old Woods. It's only been nearly 2 weeks, but you have done nearly more in those 2 weeks than some of you have done. Some of you have done in decades, and some of you have done in centuries. And all at once, you all start glowing a radiant glow. The hands with
That's
which
like-
you the hands with which you swore the oath of fellowship all feel warm to the touch. And together with your experiences, you now feel a stronger bond to each other than ever before. Which means that you've got an upgrade to your oath, people.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
if somebody would like to read the new effect you have on each other.
May I?
Of course.
Go for it.
Your guest.
You've got red on you. You have spent a lot of time together through thick and thin, and you're starting to know each other as if you are family. At 5th level, you gain advantage on all insight, medicine, and perception checks regarding members of your party.
Oh
Hell yeah.
no! Oh
If Atalanta refuses to accept this gift, does that mean she's out of this loop?
It's too late, Atlanta. We're best friends.
no! We're best friends. We don't have secrets apparently. Oh no!
It's very hard to keep secret.
Good luck
Well,
looking her in the eye from
listen-
now on.
It's all about the trust exercise of, who's of when you're going to insight check members of your party, or maybe you just let them say things and do things and not insight check them.
Eric, we all know that jury's going to be very clueless with these insight checks.
And with that,
I don't want to
we
hear
are going
that from you, Rebecca.
And I think with that, we are going to take a break.
Hey.
Eh.
Oh
Where-
my god.
Oh my god.
Where was that?
As we pick back up our adventure back in the present day, the glowing has subsided. You all feel a stronger connection with each other. And you even see Kira, who's been pretty distracted the whole time, kind of look up and she smiles and there's like, well, I suppose, well, things are getting interesting. I suppose, oaths really, really do work. Before she can kind of postulate any further, everything is interrupted by a sudden crack of lightning. Jury, Opa, and Persephone, as you three are the ones kind of on the road, you are currently weathering through the rain is starting to calm down in pellets, and the three of you notice a crack of lightning about a mile ahead of you, and the roll of thunder that follows quite swiftly after, so it's not terribly far away. The weather is getting worse, and that is very odd in Mitros. It's a normally very typically tropical climate. And as the wind started to pick up, another crack, lightning flash. The skies are getting darker and darker as you keep moving forward, and these lightning flashes just keep happening ever closer. However, in one of them, of the three I mentioned, Jury, Persephone, and Opa, can you three give me perception checks?
That's a 2 for Jury, so...
Jury's got just kind of a hood over his eyes, just not looking at the ground and nothing above a 40-degree angle.
Pardon me, I'm disassociating at the moment.
That was a 6 for Persephone. Could he just be
Oh, wow.
kind of the way a horse would get skittish? He's kind of jostling himself, and he's rearing up ooh.
Yeah.
And a 15 for Opa.
A 15, Opa. You're on Nigel. I'm assuming you probably got the goggles down at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of keeping an eye, making sure that you've got the eagle eye out, just making sure that the lighting isn't getting too close. However, in one of the flashes, you notice something peculiar. In the distant skies, you can make out 3 winged forms approaching you. The lightning crack shimmers off of their scales, and very quickly you realize that approaching are 3 young copper dragons.
No. Oh, no.
You've heard the rumors of dragons in Mitros. But these are... You've heard rumors of dragons, and obviously having seen the interned resting place of Balmitria, these ones are smaller than you would have actually anticipated. Only really slightly larger than a horse. And as they get closer, you see that the dragons are ridden by red-cloaked knights, high-ranking centurions from the... They swoop towards you. And although it's... No, that's I was about to say. They definitely kind of see you as well as at the same time that you see them. And you see them kind of swoop overhead and kind of circle around a bit. Definitely trying to make this a very non-threatening
Dragon circling?
Oh, like a vulture. Yeah, chill.
Non-threatening.
They kind of circle as they come slowly and descend slowly just ahead of you on the path.
I'm going to alert the others.
Ah!
Not to
I
panic you
quickly
all.
wrap my head.
Panic you all, but it would appear that there are dragons, riders, Dragon Riders. I'm not
Please, no, we
stuttering.
get the
Opa
point,
is
it's fine.
studying.
Dragons,
Okay,
dragons.
somebody hold Atalanta back.
Kev, can I do a quick intelligence check to recall information on these dragons? To see if I know like how old they are, if there's any weaknesses.
Give me a
God.
give me either a history or a nature.
I would specifically like an intelligence check because they are a favored enemy.
History is history and nature, not intelligence.
But it says it's part of my thing that I
Yeah,
get.
no, but like isn't
History and nature are intelligence checks.
That's it. History and nature are part of intelligence.
Sorry.
If you have
I was too excited about using my thingy.
no,
Yeah,
you
you
have
have an-
proficiency. Oh, do you get proficiency as well as intelligence? Is it?
Yeah, I get advantage.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Actually, then do you have proficiency in either history or nature?
No.
No. Okay, then we'll just roll this flat intelligence. But yeah, no advantage.
And that was useful. No, that was 12.
12. You catch them. Like you've been on the lookout for dragons since day one. So the moment somebody mentions it, your head is out that wagon. And you get like it's hard to really get a good look at them because they're a slight distance off now they've landed. But as I said, they are smaller than what you would know for a dragon. Which definitely indicates that they are young, but even for a young dragon, they're small. So it's hard to say why that would be. Maybe these are runts of some kind. There could be a lot of reasons, but obviously runts of dragons aren't very common. But you see that they are. But like from what you can tell, even though they are young and maybe not as strong as a dragon, as anyone would know a dragon to be, they are very they have shimmering bronze scales, and you can tell that they are that these ones are very intelligent. The fact that they're being mounted means they are very docile and have been tamed. And that they are very healthy.
Okay. Just on the off chance, is it possible to do an insight check to see if I recognize any of them?
Hit me with it, yeah.
Okay, even the less. How many chance do you know?
Kev, are they
That was a not one. Never mind.
No. You can't even tell. Like it's too rainy and dark to see any sort of finer details like that. But as I said, I think like you'd know that they are much smaller than the ones you'd be familiar with.
Thank you.
So these 3 dragons have landed just a short ways ahead of you. If you have stopped, 3 knights with shields and swords dismount and approach you. They are wearing very fine armor, glinting the light of the lightning bolts that are happening around you. Marvelous high plumes on their helmet. As they approach, you don't see they are armed as soldiers are, but they do not have their weapons drawn. And as they approach, you can tell the leader steps forward. It's like, "Hail, heroes! My name is Tarkon. We have come on behalf of King Acostus to escort you to his palace. He wishes an audience with you."
Atalanta has ducked back into the cart at this point and is just like has thrown a hood over her head.
Buce is gonna smile at this guy and turn around to the gang. Do we want an audience with him?
Yes, we do.
Now remember,
Gun?
Atalanta, we promised not to kill him.
Yes, I remember.
Atalanta wants to kill the king. What? I mean,
No.
what?
Get us an audience with the king.
We've already got one.
Archon, was it?
Let's go.
Hail,
Oh.
knights!
I think she might have wanted to jam him
Opa.
anyway.
Opa,
Hello!
you had said something, did you?
Archon, was it?
Tarkon.
Tarkon. Okay, grand. You are here to ask us to come to see him, or is this like an escort?
Well, word has reached Mitros that you were traveling with the intent to meet with the king himself. So he has sent us out to escort you directly to the palace.
Cool.
That's so nice of you guys.
Yes, that should be okay. We are also accompanied by the good lady Kira, but more importantly, along the path that we took to get here, we had discovered the.
Hit me with a quick perception check, Opa.
That is a 18.
18. As you're kind of saying that, you see kind of Kira just poke her head out and just kind of like, Ixnay on the soldier, eh?
You know what? It's actually just slipped my mind there. Sorry. It'll come back to me eventually.
Yes, we've heard of strange happenings along the road. The monsters have a variety of monsters have taken up some residence since the weather caused trade to stop.
Nefel pokes head out. Trade has stopped. Oh,
As you've no doubt noticed, the storm, it's been wrecking the city for several days now.
Well, tell me, would that mean that there is an awful lot of cargo just sitting on the docks, not able to be shipped out?
It's caused a lot of difficulties.
what
Oh,
a
this
Sounds
is
like
travesty.
you pissed off some storm guy.
Oh no, the trade.
Well,
It seems that yes, the Lord of Storms is indeed upset, but I feel like I think that is more discussions between you and the king. If I wouldn't mind getting out of this rain, if that's okay with you.
Will I be seeing the queen too?
Yes. I believe the queen will be present at the audience as well.
Ah, that's perfect.
wonderful. Well, if you want to lead us on.
Buce is gonna turn back to the gang quickly and whisper, "Want to kill her too?"
No, I
Ah,
want to
of course
speak to
he is.
her.
You take point and we'll follow behind ye.
Yes, be careful. The storm rages harder as we approach closer to the city.
Wait,
gotten the
can I have a ride on a dragon?
Can
Give me
he have a ride?
Oh, actually, can I also?
Yeah, can we have a ride on a
The
dragon?
two of you give me persuasion checks.
Can I take the
Atlanta
help
is
action?
looking like just disgusted by these two.
Oh fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
Oh
I
god,
got this. I got this, Louise.
I got 14.
24.
24,
Oh, yeah.
14. This was not going to be hard. You see Tarkon, like from what you've gotten, like he's a soldier, but he seems like a pretty alright guy from like what you've been kind of talking. Like of the soldiers that you've met, he seems much more like amicable than someone like Gaius.
Yes.
He kind of throws a smirk and was like, "Yeah, I suppose I don't usually do this, but for heroes, why not?
Hell yeah.
The perks of being famous.
Hop on." As I said, hold on tight. The storm rages a bit thicker as we get closer to the city, and up in the skies,
Yeah.
that's particularly perilous.
All right,
Oh,
I'll write
really?
about it later then.
If you insist.
So as the two of you, if I may ask, actually, so as I said, there was 3 dragons with 2 other soldiers. Which ones do you go for?
I let Nefel get first pick.
I want to go with the nice soldier.
You go with Tarkon.
Yeah, if there's room for Callie as well. I mean, she's small.
No, like there's it's like the saddle.
Her horse
just
size, you
about-
said, yeah?
Yeah, like the saddle just about
That's
fits
fair.
like another person if Nefel like holds on tight. It definitely wouldn't fit two. And again, like it's rough riding. It's rough riding up there.
Maybe I sit in front of him, sit in his lap.
Val's used to that.
Yeah, no, you kind of sit up front and he's like, okay, I've only done this way a couple of times, but okay, let's go. And Callie, you mount up with another one of the soldiers.
Right hand side.
On the right, yeah.
You mount up with another one of the soldiers who you find out his name is Peleus.
Nice.
Nice.
And you two take off. Like the takeoff is fast. Neither of you have actually really ever flown.
No.
Well,
Excuse you.
actually, sorry, no. Callie, you have been flown by Opa.
Yeah.
This is a very different thing. Where that was a panicked moment where you were kind of grabbed and lifted.
It was very calm initially.
This is. It is as if a horse has just taken flight. Like it is a surreal feeling to be on something that's wingspans just start flapping into the air. And suddenly you are just hit in the face with just torrential rain as you climb higher into the clouds. And you two take off. You see they don't like immediately kind of go straight head on. Like they wheel around to make sure that like everyone else in the caravan is following on behind.
In the caravan,
He's not so much of an escort if they're just going to fucking fly all the way up there, but fine.
so wait, who's left in the caravan then with Atalanta?
You and Juno.
Okay, so
So
he's gonna turn to Juno and be like, okay, I have a bit of a confession.
Oh my god.
I'm leading into here. I want to know
Oh my
what's
god,
going
it's
on.
happening. It's happening. Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. It's
I may
happening.
or may not have accidentally got on the wrong side of the guards in the past. And there is a chance that I may be arrested on sight once we arrive at the palace. I'm not too concerned about it. I just felt that you should know.
I am so proud of you.
Well, don't you worry, Atlanta. Well, as your new best friend who you just confided in, I will fight for your freedom, and if that means I may have to seriously maim a person, then so be it.
I
Wonderful
would
idea,
like to
Juno. We should
stress,
kill
I
them.
only tell you this because out of pure necessity.
You
Out of
set
friendship,
me,
yes. It's a necessity for friendship to be honest with each other.
you-
No.
Kill it, yes.
Finney offers Atalanta his sneaking cowl.
Thank you. And she brushes it off, shakes it out, gets a bottle out of her bag, sprays something on it, shakes it out again, and then gingerly puts it on.
Oh.
Guaranteed to work every time.
Mhm.
Well, most of the time. Well, light source depending, okay?
It may not even come up, and in which event I will give this back to you as soon as possible.
Oh, I won't need it. Where we're going, I won't need to hide.
Aw.
Maybe it's a shine his rump.
Okay, you can't hide that booty.
Yeah.
Buce, did you put your ass in the shiner wall?
So you guys, so the dragons fly just slightly kind of above you, basically kind of leading you along the rest of the highway for another short while as you continue growing closer. As you approach the city of Mitros, you are reminded of its immense scale. Its walls and temples sprawl across the foundation of Mount Vulcan, and its great harbor stretches for miles across the coast. This is the jewel of Thylia, the bastion of mortal civilization. But something is wrong. Massive, swirling black clouds loom over the city, the wind battering its ships and tearing at its banners. Howling gales greet you as you draw closer to the city gates. It becomes difficult just to put one foot in front of the other. The centurions of the gate urgently beckon you into the city as torrential rain hammers down.
Before we get to the gate, can I like park up a little, just like a little before that, and just be like, hey, Juno, is there any chance you might know how to drive? He's not so hard. The mule does most of the work.
Sure, I can give it a go.
Yeah, I'm just feeling a little travel sick. Would you be good to take the reins?
Oh, anything for you, mate.
It's my inside check. I'm going to do with advantage now.
Oh, me too.
You're in the sky, motherfucker! Charlie!
Do it!
Yeah, Callie and Nefel, the dragons are kind of swooping over the walls.
Callie is just the whole time asking, what's the dragon's name? How old is he? What's his favorite color?
Nefel's doing the same, but about the soldier, not the dragon.
That is information I will get you later.
Awesome.
So Juno, after a short pit stop, Juno now leads the wagon. As you enter the first set of gates, you find those of you that were in the wagon find yourself in a small stabling complex.
Pardon me. I'm also taking all my armor off and leaving it in the wagon.
Okay.
While I'm in back.
What?
So is Jury like getting undressed and Atalanta's sitting in the corner like an awkward?
He's my wagon. What do you want? Listen.
I'm asking for character reasons.
He's got like he's like changing into like a lit, like taking like the under like armor like garments off and putting it's like you sort of like a tank top kind of deal, and then over that just putting on like a black linen button up and like some like and like the thing where you're like wearing like a skirt or dress and you put pants on under it and then taking like the crotch armor off over that. So like we've all dressed in a car before.
Hey, we've all been to the beach.
Atalanta's going to respectfully avert her eyes while this is all occurring.
How surprising.
Oh, surprising.
Oh my god, she has respect for Jury.
No, respectfully, not with respect. I'm sorry, Eric. I love you and I love Jury.
No, that's fine. I love everything we have going on.
Great. Yeah, no, Jury changes out of his armor. So as you approach the city gates, the guards beckon you just inside the first gatehouse. Kind of a pretty large complex for a gatehouse where there's a small internal kind of stabling setup. Where their request is like, if you would please like to leave your steeds. Here, some of the city streets can get pretty narrow. I think it'd be best to make the rest of the way on foot.
Biseth taps his hoof,
behind.
annoyed on the cobblestone.
Atalanta just shoots a glance at him and goes, "Will you be able to fit?"
I might.
Or would you like me to get some grease?
Would you like me to get a bigger cowl, one that maybe can cover your whole face?
Oh, I would prefer you got one that covered your entire body, but let's not worry about it now.
Let's go.
I'm leaving my weapons in the cart also.
Atalanta is like
In the wagon, pardon me.
looking at this. She like hangs back to ask Jury, like, "Why are you leaving your weapons here?"
Why are you carrying so many weapons? Did you ever think about that?
Because I intend to use them if necessary. I would feel more comfortable if I knew you two were armed.
I have my spells, it's fine. And then I sort of like lean a little bit and sort of like hiss whispers like, I come off a little aggressive at the best of times. I'm trying to seem chill. It's fine.
Why would you do that? Your aggression is your best feature.
I stomp away right up to the front of the walk.
One I could take it. Nobody's going to think me threatening until I get in there with a 1-2.
Oh,
Yeah, look at
go
doing it.
grandma!
Look at doing it.
Do it. You can rummage through my
So-
shit, it's cool.
As you then leave the gatehouse without your mount in the wagon, then you start. As you leave, you enter then the city proper into the main thoroughfare. You glance up and you see the 3 bronze dragons, obviously waiting to see you, waiting to kind of see you guys enter the city before proceeding with Callie and Nefel off to the palace. But as those of you on the ground glance up into the sky to see the dragons, you notice that something ominous has materialized within the spinning eye of the hurricane. It's the scowling visage of Sidon, Lord of Storms. His angry eyes rove over the city until they abruptly lock onto your position. The Titan conjures a crackling white bolt of lightning and hurls it at you. Those of you on the ground, please make all make dexterity checks.
Fuck.
Oh, come on!
We knew
Oh.
we'd be safe as a cry.
That would...
We knew it. That's why we did it. Yes.
Natty 20, baby!
I'm not proud of myself.
Kev, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Just for after the. You know what?
Okay.
We'll resolve this first.
Oh, Dave! Oh no!
Oh, great! Now I don't feel so bad.
Oh wait.
Oh,
It's a not
oh.
1, but I could still add my dexterity
It's-
to it. Yeah.
That's a nat 1.
If I add my dex, it's a 5 though.
No.
That's a nat 1, Dave. Was that everyone? Are we missing anyone?
Opa.
My
Opa
cowl
got
is
just
wrong.
went.
Opa got
Opa,
20.
yeah, Opa's
Coward
there.
play.
1,
3,
2,
4,
3,
5. Yeah, 5. Yeah. Persephone, your rump has left you open.
Oh,
no!
Oh no. His greatest asset is greatest weakness.
and with a
Greatest
nat-
asset? Great.
Ah!
and with a natural 1, you are caught completely where the rest of them glanced up to see the dragons. You're hurt by Atalanta's comments, and you're kind of looking over yourself like, no, I can fit through this city. I've done this several times. And as you walk out,
Okay, can he be like showing off and he's like prancing between cobblestones?
yeah, you're showing off.
Just
Has
focusing
left
purely
you
on that.
wide open as you are the one struck by this great column of lightning. Persephone, you take 21 points of damage.
Oh,
What?
Oh! Oh, my boy!
No!
Lay on hands!
Oh, somebody give me lots of hands!
Oh my god.
Those of you on the dragons suddenly see this. You caught the eye of this figure in the clouds, and the greatest column of lightning you've seen today suddenly go down and strike. And you hear Tarkon panic. He's like, "Men, formation!
What is happening?
To the palace! To the palace!"
As
And
this-
you two are struck. You two are taken right off.
Atalanta turns to Buce and casts Cure Wounds.
We were like
Aw.
way out of hearing range even when we saw this happen, right?
Yeah, I think so. We were in the sky.
Like you heard to be honest, the lightning cracked right by you guys in the sky. Like it is nigh on a wonder it didn't hit any of the dragons. So you all got hit with a deafening crack of lightning, seeing as you were so near the source that all you could just make out, even in a deafened tone, is Tarkon screaming for formation, shouting for formation, as you are swiftly taken off to the palace.
Noom. It's a good thing it wasn't Callie.
I am on
Yeah, my god.
10 HP.
Yeah.
I would like to cast a spell.
Uh-huh.
HP after taking 20 damage?
Well, no, Atalanta's going to Cure Wounds on him.
You said that we could see eyes in the clouds, yes?
It was so two motes of light had appeared as the shape formed in the clouds.
And I'm going to use the spell Skywrite, which allows me to cause up to 10 words to form in a part of the sky that you can see. I'm going to make them reversed to the people on the ground, so they're facing upwards. Would you kindly fuck off? As you write that in the sky facing up, the figure whirls itself around as part of the hurricane, almost throwing a cloak of cloud over it as it dissipates, as the tumultuous clouds rage on. I think you got the message.
I'm writing that in my notes. Just so you know.
The guards who were in the gatehouse, like just as soon as Persephone got struck, come out was like, "Oh my god, is everything okay? Are you hurt, Miss Persephone? Are you awake?"
His ass! How is his ass?
Quick, I need some hands.
Blasted
Yeah.
right off.
Come, let's get you to the palace as fast as possible.
Atalanta helps them to get Buce into the castle, and as she does so, she casts Cure Wounds on the boy.
Do it. Roll them the.
I'm rolling.
And the last thing I wrote
Oh, Cure Wounds is.
was would you kindly fuck off?
Oh, I got nat 20.
Wait,
Oh, here
I
it is.
don't
Yeah,
think-
there's Cure
no.
Wounds.
yeah, no, you don't like roll a. It's just a D8 plus your spellcast
Okay.
modifier.
Yeah.
A day
I don't
plus
cast spells anymore.
Mercy me.
That is 8 HP.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. 18 HP, that's not too terrible.
Yeah, you're
It's
like,
really not, is
Reasonable number.
it?
Unless this guy goes for it again.
Yeah, fuck you, Sky. Both Sidon and, the channel people.
Yeah, get him. Call out.
So, as you are quickly ushered through the streets of Mitros, the storm howls on. You are quickly rushed. You see all of the buildings you pass by are completely shuttered and barricaded against the storms. You don't see another soul, and as you run past, as you run through the palace district, eventually bringing your way into the grand open courtyard through the gates, where you find the three dragons mounted. You see Callie and Nefel being dismounted. As you see Tarkon seeing you kind of all rushed in with the rest of the guards, like, that was think the Lord of Storms is taking things too far. This is awful. Did any of you get hurt?
Yes, our friend here. This ass over here.
The mule got hit.
No.
No, not the mule.
That would have been a travesty.
Is it okay?
I'll also cast Cure Wounds on Persephone now that I am here. The cleric, hello. So let me do one of these. Where's a D8? Oh my god. 8. No. Oh my god. What does a D8 look like? Oh, found it. Never mind. Got it. That is. What's my spellcasting? Out of fire. Is spellcasting. Oh yeah. That is 15.
Here's your wisdom.
Wait, 15 with a D8?
Hold on. I think I was looking at my spell attack modifiers. That's what I'm looking at, isn't it?
Wisdom.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's
your
just
wisdom.
the wisdom.
So.
Just the wisdom. Okay, so then that is just 12.
Oh, is that all?
Just 12.
12 HP.
Yeah.
It's only like 3/4 of my max HP, but okay.
Oh, you
you
have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
That's not true. I can blame chaos.
Okay, I'm 1 HP away from max.
Hey!
Use it flip back up.
You see, Tarkon sees Nefel's heading to himself and is like, well, it's very heartwarming to see comrades helping each other. Come on, let's get in out of this rain.
Is he the soldier I was riding with?
Yeah, he was.
I
like,
wink at him.
Oh.
You see, he kind of like he's like obviously kind of like trying to kind of busy the other soldiers to get the dragons kind of stabled up, I suppose, as he leads you on inside. But he kind of chuckles to himself as you wink, and he leads you. Then opens the grand double doors of the Palace of Mitros, and that is where we are going to end our session.
Oh my god.
Oh wait.
I'm guessing that the dragon's not the only thing Nefel wants to ride.
Listen, a dragon rider? Oh my god.
That's a danger.
Nefel very horny.
He's
This
just
is the reveal of the session.
just like that. We love him.
Just be like that.
Yeah, we were warned that he fucks.
Yeah.
Believe it.
I tried to warn you.
We didn't listen. We didn't.
Like it's a bad thing. We all knew that Nefel fucked. We approved of it. I approved of it. I don't know about you guys.
And it's all fine.
Basically
It's
written in
all
stone,
good.
Nefel fucked.
Yeah.
We're just jealous it's not us.
You should have written into your
Honestly.
backstory. What can I say?
Thank you all for listening back to this, if indeed you are. If anyone is watching this live, I know there's some people. We are going to be moving back to doing D&D in person. In the Twitch channel description, we have a link to our YouTube page, which has all of the VODs from this stream and every other stream that we do. And from next Wednesday onwards, because we upload in the night after, all of the episodes from then on will be uploaded there and will no longer be streamed live, as the place that we're going to be doing the recording is not really tenable for live recording. For live streaming,
How
rather.
dare you?
It's
Speak
it's
about
perfectly
Matt.
fine
You're
for
right,
live
though.
recording. Again, thank you very much for listening back to it. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day. Is this when we do
Ta-ta.
Gladius? Ta-ta.
If you like me, Nicholas, get caught in the rain. If you're not into helping, if you have a brain,
We've been together too long. It's a worn out recording.
Yeah.